Hello. As a lot of you have mentioned on different forums and I was researching, I have purchased an Omlet Eglu XL Cube, and I saw on the advertisement that it holds 12 chickens. I have 9 full-size chickens and they get pretty crunched in there. So I was having a hard time with my automatic door not closing at night because they are so crunched in there that there just really wasn't comfortable room for them. So let me show you what I have done in order to give them more room. So what I did is I actually was fortunate enough to find online somebody else who had an Omlet Eglu who wasn't using it anymore, and so I was able to purchase this back one. It is the same exact model as the front one, and I put it together using the same exact configuration with a couple modifications that I will show you. And I'm really happy with this. I feel like it gives my chickens a lot more room, and it really seems to work well, and it's easy. So first of all, this front one, I will call this the front, and then the back coop I will call the back. This front one is completely built to specs, with one exception of the back panel that I will show you. And then this back one is completely built to specs with the exception of 2 things: the front panel, which I will show you, and also the frame. I have actually installed this back coop with the frame backwards. So these ladder holes here are now in the back. What I wanted to do is do as minimal damage to the coop as possible so that I was able to, eventually if I wanted to go back down to 1 coop or have 2 separate coops without having a bunch of parts damaged, because these coops are fairly expensive. So let me go ahead and show you how this is put together. I have a compression latch on each side. I got these off of Amazon, and they're just these latches that will create a little tension when you close them. So let me go ahead and unlatch both sides here so I can show you the inside. Okay. All right, and as you can see here, I put a piece of automotive trim so that when these are squeezed together, it has that compression over the foam so it isn't drafty inside for the girls. Okay. All right, so now that I have them unlatched, I'm going to show you the support that I built down here. The front coop is actually elevated on blocks, and the reason is that I installed wheels on the back coop. These are just like Rubbermaid shelves that I use just because I like to also create a little area to store my my wood chips and things like that. But I have these wheels that I got at Tractor Supply, and they are nice and big and tough because I have a sand coop and I wanted something that would roll easily. To make it roll even easier, I also put down these little pavers. They were like $1.50 at Lowe's, and I just lined them up so it has a little track to roll on. So now that I have the coop unattached, I can simply just pull this forward, and it's so easy to separate these two. A lot of times I do this chicken work by myself, and I didn't want to have to have somebody help me lift the coop every time I wanted to clean things out. So let me give you a tour of the front one here. I took out this nesting panel. You can do that or you don't have to. I took it out to also give my chickens a little bit of width. So I just have the wood chips in here that I replace every time I clean out this wood chips drawer. And the difference with this front coop is that I don't have the back panel installed. So I'll show you here. So this back panel piece here, I did not install that. So that is missing from this area. And what that allowed is that there's a little bit more space now so that when I pull the coops together, they're able to squeeze together and the chickens don't have anything that they need to step over or anything like that here. And that way they feel free to expand to the full length of the coop without hesitation, because there's nothing blocking them there. That did leave a bit of a gap here because there was a piece here that would fill this gap, and there was also a bracket that held this nesting box from falling down. So what I did is I just have this regular standard vinyl gutter that perfectly fills that gap. And then I just have a piece of wood here with a simple bracket that helps support this nesting box to keep that level. Let me go ahead and show you the back here. I just removed that back piece. Okay, so this back part has the nesting box. So I've kept that all the same. However, it no longer has the front panel. So I didn't destroy or cut or anything. I didn't do anything to this front panel. What I did is I didn't install it. So what that did is it did two things. It left a hole where that's supposed to be. So again, on Amazon, I just found this 3-inch compression hole filler, and I just have that installed there just to plug up that hole. And it also removed a bracket that holds this nesting box in place here. So that is something that I had to jerry rig in order to have this nesting panel not wiggle back and forth. I needed to add that little support, so I just put it in an L-shaped bracket in order to keep that steady. And then, as with the front one that we saw, this support was now gone for the nesting box, and I didn't want the nesting box to fall down or sink. I wanted it to all stay level, so I just added a piece of wood and a couple brackets for it to rest on. I also added this piece of lattice just because it felt like it kind of separated the nesting box a little bit more. You could do that or you don't have to. Either way. And then another thing that I did is with the roosting bars, I took out the piece that it usually rests on there. So let me show you on the front. So there's usually a piece there that the little divot under the under the roosting bars kind of locks it in place and lets it sit there. And the reason I did that is because then that allows me to have this in place and to slide it all the way forward, which eliminates the gap that would be present when this is when the two coops are pushed together. That way there's the roosting bars and then this little panel and then the roosting bars, and it's very seamless for the chickens to be able to come back and forth. So that's how that works. And then in order to fill the gap that's left, I just have my gutter. You can use anything you want, but this just seemed to be easy to clean and it worked well for me. So that is the bones of this Eglu mansion that I've created. Let me show you how I put it back together very easily. Put this back panel back on. All right, so with it being on wheels, all I do is just give it a little push and it comes together very easily. I go ahead and attach the latch. Okay, and that just squeezes these two together so that my automotive foam will keep out the drafts. Do the other side as well. Pull that forward and squeeze it closed. So that is what I did in order to configure my Eglu to accommodate all 9 of my full-size chickens, and I'm super happy with the results. Thank you so much.